What's up guys, Mr. Goldsworthy here. Today we're beginning an achievement in Call of Duty Black Ops 3 Awakening DLC called My Brother's Keeper. And this achievement is the Easter egg achievement, and this is the solo guide. And we're going to be using the Ragnarok DG4s, the monkey bombs, and the lightning bow to get this done. So without further ado, let's get this going. Before you can start the Easter egg, you need to upgrade one bow of your choosing. I would recommend the lightning bow. I'll leave a link in the description to upgrade any of the bows that you want. And after you do that, you have to pick up your regular bow and you're on to the first step of the Easter egg. Once you pick up your regular bow, head to the teleporter room, and on top of the teleporter should be those circle things on top. You have to shoot those near them or at them, and they'll glow orange. And if you do all of them correct, you'll hear a weird Margwa sound and you're on to the next step. Alright, as soon as you hear the Margwa sound, you go and pick up your bow of your choosing, whichever one you upgraded. And then there's going to be one item that on the map that's going to be sparked with electricity. You have to shoot that directly, and there's going to be 4 in total you have to hit. And if you do the first 3 correctly, you hear the Margwa sound, and the last one will make a weirder sound. And once you do that, you're on to the next step. I'm going to be showing you all of the objects that are possibly going to be electrified, and the first one's right here, right next to the clock tower, and it's going to be this clock. The next object is right here in the comms room in the chapel, and it's going to be this radio. Alright, the next one is actually in the chapel as well, and it's where the dragon head should be, and it's above it, and it's the clock. The next object is a phone on the wall opposite the power switch in the power room. Alright, the next object is the globe in Dr. Maxis's room. Alright, the next object is the wheel, and it's the right wheel of the car right outside the spawn. The next one is a box inside the room right next to the landing pad or outside the spawn. Alright, the final object is in the spawn right in the room where the quick revive machine is at, and it's the phone right here on the desk. Right, the objects I just showed you will be different every time. It'll be in the same place, but the order, the way you have to hit them, it will be different. And then only 4 of them will be lit up. And if you fail it, you'll hear a weird ding sound. If you do it right, you hear the Margwa sound, and you hear a weird like hush if you do it all the way right. Once you hit all of them correctly, head to the teleporter, and it should be purple. And take the teleporter, and you go back in time, and as soon as you get there, turn to the right and pick up these fuses on top of these crates. Alright, the next thing you need to pick up is these vials of souls right on the opposite side of where you got the fuses. The next thing you have to get is the code that Dr. Grav inputs into the safe, and you just either pause it and write them down or take a picture, or just remember it by your head, but you'll need this for a later step. Alright, once the timer runs out for you being there, it'll actually teleport you to the rocket test site, and the Panzer Soldat will always spawn once you do this step. And you just kill him, and the first time you kill the Panzer Soldat, he'll drop the first part of the Ragnarok DG4s. Alright, next you have to head to the death ray trap. There's going to be a slot for your fuses on one side of the death ray trap, and on the other side it's going to say destroy or protect. Put it on protect, and if you haven't used the death ray trap yet, use it and then head to the computer right next to where the clock tower is. Alright, once you're at the computers, it should be on once you use the trap, and then you just input the code that you got from Dr. Grav, and you're on to the next step. If you do it correctly, you head to the teleporter room, and you'll hear a weird sound if you do it correctly, and pick up whatever's in the safe. And if you do it wrong, you hear the ding sound again, and you have to redo the last step of teleportation, and you have to start a new round in order for you to do the sparks again. Once you picked up whatever's in the safe, head back to the death ray trap, and there's going to be these towers with these spheres on top, and there should be like these 2 current of electricities, and one will be missing, and it'll be the middle one. You insert those things in there, and then you switch it back to destroy mode. Once you hit it to destroy mode, head to the computers that you were right next to the clock tower. Hold X and it should turn on, and this is where you should pause it and take a picture or write down whatever symbols are on the 4 little screens, because you have to play Simon Says with the computer. And if you do it correctly, you'll hear this sound. And the next one you have to do is the computer in the rocket test site. You have to play Simon Says with it as well, and just do the strategy you did for the last one. You'll be fine. If you do it correctly, you'll hear that noise, and if you don't, you have to redo all of them. And if you mess up on one but you did good on the other one, you have to retry both of them again. And once you do that correctly, the 2 spheres should be white, and then press the green button at the end of the death ray trap. If you do it correctly, the spheres will shoot to the sky and it'll shoot down the rocket containing Dempsey, and it'll fall into the map right outside the chapel. Then you have to pick up the golden rod that's on the ground right in the middle, and then you're on to the next step. Alright, the next step what you have to do is do the teleportation back in time again. And you just do the same thing, you start our next round, and then as soon as you hear the Margwa sound at the beginning of the round, do the 4 sparks of electricity and travel back in time again. Alright, once you take the teleporter, head to the right and where the fuses were when you picked them up the first time you teleported there. To the left should be a crate that's open and it's going to have a book. Hold X and then turn around and then hit to the right, and there should be a thing that opened. There's going to be a giant slab with a weird symbol on it. You just hold X to pick it up and you're on to the next step. Next, we're going to build the Ragnarok TG4s, and the second part is at the rocket test site. You have to pull the lever right under where the rocket is, then hit inside and survive, and there's going to be these like lever, and there's going to be 3 lights, and they're going to be red at first, but as the rocket test continues, it'll grow and it'll light up green, and then once they're all 3 light up green, you hold X as soon as it's over, and the part should be in the teleporter. Alright, the third and final part is when you use the death ray trap, and the part will spawn up in the air, and you have to see which wonder sphere you have to take, because that's the only way you can grab it. As soon as you grab the last part, you can build it on any workbench that's on the map that you wish. The next official step is to put the golden rod in the tomb right next to the original bow, and once you do that, a ghost keeper will spawn. You have to follow him around the map, and you'll go to 4 spots, and you have to kill zombies with the one bow that you upgraded. If you upgraded multiple, you have to use different ones, and it'll be different every single time. Unless you upgraded one, it'll be just the same one. And then he move, like every time I played, he at least moved at the end of the rounds, but when I played with my friend, it'll actually move in the middle of the rounds. But I think that might be just a co-op thing, I'm not sure. But once you do all of them, he actually turned into a real one, and then when he turns into a real one, you follow him back into the pyramid room, and he'll make the pyramid disappear, and then a little dialogue cutscene will happen. And then once that's over, he'll actually spawn the MPD from Moon. It's just the giant pyramid, if you remember back in the day in the Moon map. Then you're on to the next step. For the last piece of footage I just showed you, you put in the slab right here in its slot before you can even collect the souls. Alright, once the dialogue cutscene is over, the MPD will be spawned in, but one of the vials will be broken. That's where you put in your vial that you grabbed from when you went back in time. And then it's always in this spot, at least every time I played. But you just hold X to put it down, then you're on to the official second to last step. Alright, before you actually begin the second to last step, you have to, or at least I would recommend you getting monkeys. It'll help you tremendously in the second to last step. And it's kind of hard to get the monkey bombs on this map, so it might take you a few rounds, or it's going to cost you a lot of money in order to get it. Alright, once you're ready to begin the second to last step, you grab your DG4s, place them on the pressure plates in order even to turn on the gravity mode. That's where you place them, and it'll teleport you to the next step, and it'll actually be the boss fight. And this is a pretty tough boss fight, so I'm going to try to explain to you the easiest way to do it. As soon as you spawn there, you only do 3 moves. The keeper will do the firekeeper skulls. He actually shoot those at you. The second move he'll do is the volcanoes out of the ground. Those are the 2 easiest things to dodge, or it won't kill you, but the deadliest one is the electricity orb that'll spawn in between the pillars, and you have to put your Ragnarok DG4s in order to damage him. After that, he'll actually be stunned, and you just shoot him in the chest once it opens up. But if you mess up and you accidentally place it in the wrong spot, and you have to hide behind one of the pillars, because if you're out in the open and the electricity bar actually goes off, you're dead. You'll go down if you have quick revive, but if you don't have quick revive, you'll just die, and then there goes the rest of the Easter egg for you. You have to retry all of this again. Alright, the next wave after you grab the max ammo will be 2 Panzer Soldats at first, and once you kill one, a max ammo will spawn and an additional Panzer Soldat will actually spawn. And the strategy I used to kill all 3 of these was throw a monkey bomb out, and it'll distract all the skeleton zombies, and just unload on both Panzer Soldats until one of them is dead, and throw another monkey out, and then just vice versa. You just keep doing that until they're all dead, and once you do that, you're actually on to the next wave of the boss fight. And for the next wave, the boss will come back, and you just use the first strategy that I showed you. You just to survive and kill a bunch of zombies if your DG4s aren't charged. And as soon as you see the ball of lightning, you just put your DG4s back down, and it'll be stunned, and you just shoot them again. But in addition to this actual wave, dogs will actually spawn this time. So just be careful and just circle around the little area, and you should be just fine. Alright, the next wave will actually be another Panzer Soldat round, and 3 of them will spawn, and again it'll only be 2 first, and then the third one. And just use the same strategy for the first round of Panzers that you faced, and you should be just fine. Alright, at this point you'll actually be at the last wave of the boss fight, and you just use the same strategy as the first 2 times you used to face this boss fight, and just keep doing it. And then once he's done, just shoot him and all that. And once you do it correctly, he'll actually spin, and you'll teleport back to the map where the pyramid room was, and the NPD will spawn with you. Alright, as soon as you spawn from the boss fight, you actually turn around, and on the front of the NPD will be the little slot where you can put in your orb. You hold X to put it in, and then you hold X again to take it back out, and then you're on to the actual final step of the Easter egg. Alright, the final step, all you gotta do is head to the computers right next to the clock tower, and you hold X to put your orb that you grabbed, and it'll actually begin the actual final thing, and it'll actually shoot rockets to the moon, and all the zombies will be despawned, so you can watch it, so you don't have to worry about getting down. And once it's done and it actually explodes, it'll start the cutscene, and then after the cutscene's over, you actually get your achievement, and you get all the perks that are on the map. Well, hopefully guys you enjoyed this video, and hopefully it helped, and if it didn't, please let us know why, so we can make our guides a lot better for you guys. And thank you so much once again, and have a great day. Peace.